Hello, this is going to be DNS Flow number 1. So first of all, I just wanted to mention that a lot of what we're working on here is dynamic stability, and the focus is on uprighting the spine, so keeping our diaphragms, our diaphragm at the bottom, our pelvic diaphragm, our respiratory diaphragm, and then if you think of like these ridges kind of moving all the way up through the crown of the head. So aligning all of these so that we can move freely through the limbs and in a way that's more efficient to stabilize as we move. So go ahead and start off by laying down on your back. And I find it helpful to have a pillow under my head so that I'm not straining in my neck as I breathe here. We're just going to start with the knees bent, hands on the belly. Close the eyes, just allow yourself to settle into your body and feel the ground beneath you. And then see if you can take just like 3 clearing breaths. So as you breathe in, fill up, wide back, front. And as you breathe out through the mouth, let it go. 2 more. And then take a few breaths where you're really focusing on breathing into the belly, really expand there specifically. And then contract there. 2 more. Good. And then take your hands to the sides of your rib cage, thumbs point back. Breathe wide into your rib cage. And then as you exhale, feel the rib cage draw back in and down. Feels kind of like a bucket handle. As you breathe in, it opens out. As you breathe out, it hugs back in. Very good. And then slide your hands underneath your low back, palms face down. And see if you can send your breath back into your hands here. So inhaling, expanding your breath backwards, kind of pressing down into your hands. And then exhale, let it go. One more time, breathe in, really emphasize that breath backwards. And then let it go. Good. And then bring your arms down by your sides. Let your chest kind of open up and see if you can breathe in all directions, wide back, front. And as you breathe out, just kind of keep a little bit of that outward pressure, creating intra-abdominal pressure. Inhale, expand. And exhale, just kind of keep some of that expansion in your torso, and really you'll feel a little bit of a drop of your chest and your rib cage when you're doing this properly. So just do that a couple more times, simultaneously allowing the neck and the shoulders to remain relaxed. And then from here, we're just going to start to move through one leg at a time. So as you breathe in, bring one leg up, exhale back down. And it's kind of feeling like you're just floating that leg up with the inhale, and then keeping that intra-abdominal pressure as you lower back down. There should be minimal movement of the torso and the pelvis here. We want to keep that alignment of our diaphragms as best as possible. Go for a couple more. Chest is nice and soft and open. Shoulders same thing. Good, last one, lift the left leg up, and then lift the right leg up to meet it and reach your arms towards the sky. From here, keep your legs as is, knees slightly turned out, and reach the arms back behind you. As you breathe in, exhale the arms back up towards the sky. Again, we're kind of challenging our ability to hold the rib cage and the pelvis in alignment by doing the movements through the arms and the legs. So as you reach out, notice how the rib cage wants to follow, but do your best to keep it anchored back towards the floor. Continue to move as smooth as you can. Breathe smooth throughout the session. One more reach. Good. And then from here, just pull your right knee towards your chest, reach your left leg long, and do some ankle circles with that right ankle one way and the other way. And then take your hands, hold the back of your thigh, reach your heel towards the ceiling as you breathe in, point the toe and pull the knee back in as you breathe out. Go in and out of that, just a couple more times. It's like the breath is animating movement. So as you push up, we breathe in, pull in, breathe out. We're pumping it out. One more. Keep that leg straight this time. Push the back of your left leg into the floor, flexing both ankles, arms down by your sides. And then slowly lower that right leg down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Re-bend the knees. Bring the legs back up to tabletop. Arms to the sky. Going into dead bug, we're going to reach the right arm back, left leg forward, and then hug it back in. This time left arm, right leg, and back in. Just continue to alternate sides, again, moving smooth through the limbs as we remain stable through the core. Always come back to those areas that tend to grip or tend to tighten and see if you can soften there. So for me, it's my neck and my jaw, so I keep reminding myself, okay, I don't have to work in my neck or my jaw. They're not really helping. So always coming back to those reminders. We'll go for 3 more. Beautiful. And then just pull your left knee towards your chest, reach your right leg long on the floor, and do some ankle circles. And the other way. Then hands behind the thigh, reach your heel towards the ceiling, and then point your toe and pull the knee back in. Finding that pump-like action of your breath and the movement of the leg. Last one, reach the heel towards the sky, keep it there. Flex your right ankle and push the right leg down into the floor, arms down by your sides. Pausing here. As you exhale, slowly lower that leg down for 3, 2, and 1. Good. Re-bend the knees. And we'll set up for some bridging here. So for me, I like my headrest to come off at this point, just so I'm not too flexed in my neck when I lift my hips. Before we lift up, do a few pelvic tilts forward and back, just to feel that movement. And then next time you tuck back or you flatten your back into the floor, keep that. See if you can feel a sense of squeezing your sits bones together, and then slowly roll up through the spine. Lifting the hips up, pause at the top and see if you can soften the upper back, broad across the collarbones, and feel a sense of reaching your knees forward and up. Root down through all 4 corners of your feet. Take another breath in, and then exhale, roll back down. And then go for about 5 to 10 bridges on your own breath. But finding that roll through as you lift, keeping the sits bones squeezed together as you lower until you reach down all the way with the pelvis and release. And just keep going. Again, finding a speed that works for you, that feels good in this moment. Should feel a nice stretch through the fronts of the thighs as you lift up, and a nice squeeze in the glutes at the top. And we'll go for 2 more. And this last one, let's stay lifted. We'll go into alternating hip dips. So one hip drops down or dips down, and then we pick it back up, using that glute muscle to lift, to extend from the pelvis, from the hips. Breathing through this. Go for 3 more. Last one on each side. Good. Now, if it feels good to do so, reach your arms back behind you and keep on reaching back as you roll back down through the spine. You can always keep your arms down by your sides. That's why I say if it feels good to do so. Because we want this to feel good. Now bring your arms out wide to a T. Step your feet nice and wide and just let the knees rock over to the left, gaze to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze left. Inhale, center. And just keep going side to side, nice and free with your movement, nice and smooth, like peanut butter. Last one on each side. And then bring it back to center. From here, realign your spine. So find that alignment of your diaphragms, nice and long through the neck. Bring the legs up one at a time, arms up towards the sky. And then find that intra-abdominal pressure in all directions. You're gonna reach the right arm over to the right, look in that direction, and then roll onto your side. As you roll onto your side, you want to keep this kind of lift through your torso. So it's tempting to just roll over and you're just kind of like giving into gravity, but see if you can stay lifted onto your shoulder, onto your hip. So we have some space here, maybe even, but from the ground in your waist. And then from here, push the ground away, roll back onto the back. And then reach up. Reach to the right, look there, roll there. And then push the ground away, reach back up. My hair clip is getting in the way, so just ignore that. Look there, roll there. This time we're gonna stay on the side for some lateral hip work. So go ahead and place the right arm under your head, or if you have a pillow, use that pillow under your head. Whatever is more comfortable. We're gonna be here for a little bit, so wanna make sure you're not feeling like you're tense in your neck here. All right, finding that nice long spine, alignment of head, ribs, pelvis. I'm gonna keep reminding you of that. We're gonna float the top leg up and just go for some rotations in the hip joint. So rotating internally with the knee pointing down, and then externally with the knee pointing up. Just go in and out of that a few more times. Good. And then bend the knee, bring it up towards the chest, and then reach it back out long, pushing through the heel, feeling that glute engage, the back of the leg engage, and and then pull it back forward again and push it out. And 5. Hopefully the glute's starting to feel a little spicy here. We're going to start going into some circles with the foot. So circling 5 in one direction, and then 5 in the opposite direction. The neck and shoulders soft. And then pause, just lower that leg down, the foot all the way to the floor, and slide it back behind you. And then reach your top arm forward and up in front of you, and see if you can breathe through the hip and the side body. Expanding from the inside out. Good. Rebend knee, arm. Both arms will reach forward now. And we'll stretch the top arm out in front of you, and then pull the shoulder blade back and open the chest towards the sky, reaching the arm back behind you. Take a breath in, and then exhale, bring the arm back forward, reach forward again. And then go in and out of that a couple more times. You're always welcome to pause the video if you want to do more of these, but I'm just going to do 3. Pause once you're back there, breathe in, and then breathe out. Bring the arm back forward, and then find that nice upright position through your spine again, pushing the ground away. We're going to roll back onto the back. Good. And then from here, we're going to roll back onto the right side, but this time, here, let's do this. Reach to the right, look to the right, and then roll up onto the forearm. And then look up towards the hand. And actually, let's pause here. So first of all, again, gravity will pull us down like this. So we want to see if we can really find that alignment of our spine in this position, especially because it's going to be harder to navigate when we're on our side. So just see if you can find that, find a good position for your shoulder so you're not sinking in, pushing the ground away. And I want to put my elbow a little more underneath me. It feels more supportive for me at this moment. From here, we're going to rotate the whole torso down towards the floor, just until the hand touches and the knee is down. And then we're pushing away from the ground with this bottom knee, this bottom hand to come back forward. Just go in and out of that. It's kind of like you're a skewer moving around the bottom hip and bottom shoulder. Notice how as I rotate down, I'm not sinking down with my chest. I'm really working to stay lifted from this bottom shoulder. Now reach the arm up towards the sky, look there, and straighten your bottom hand. And then bring your legs out in front of you, coming into a high seated position. Weight is now on the sits bones. Take a couple of breaths here. And then we're gonna rotate the knees over to the left, reach with the right arm, and then bring it back through center, rotate to the right, reach through left arm, bring it back to center, and just feeling where you're creating that connection to the floor. So I'm putting my right hand down, I'm sinking my weight into this right hip, and then I'm reaching up and out with the left side. Next time we go to the left, we're actually gonna come to lay down onto our side. So in order to do that, we're gonna need to move the legs back a little bit. This isn't the cleanest transition, but that's how we're gonna do it. So turn back to the side so that we can lower down first onto the hand, then the elbow, and then roll back onto the back. Now from here, pause for a couple of breaths, and then reach with the left arm over, look there, and reach back up. Reach over, look there, and then roll onto your side. And see if you can, again, notice the temptation to sink in and stay lifted. And then push the ground away to roll back onto the back. Do that 2 more times. Reach there, look there, roll there. And this time staying here on your side. So find a good position for your neck, whether it be the arm under your head or pillow, and then float the top leg up. And we're going to rotate that leg in its socket. Once more. And then bend the knee up towards the chest. Make sure your hip's not following. So we want to keep this from hiking up as we pull the knee forward. We're hinging at the hip crease, and then we're pushing it back out. See if you can feel the glute in the back of the leg working. Forward and back. Neck relaxed. Jaw relaxed. And then next time you straighten that leg, keep it out there and do some circles. Nice and spicy. Circle the other way. You can always do more of these. I'm doing a little less today than I normally would, but still works pretty well. Now lower that foot down, slide it back behind you, and reach your top arm forward and up. So we're creating this long kind of spiraling action through the body. Should feel a nice stretch through your whole right side body. And then breathe into it. Good, and then we'll bend the knee back in. Arms will reach forward, going for book openers. Try to keep your knees stacked and really have them kind of hiked up towards the chest. This will help keep your low back in alignment. Reach the arm forward first, then pull the shoulder blade back, and then open the chest towards the sky. As you reach the arm behind you, breathe in. And as you breathe out, bring the arm back forward and reach. And pull. And open. And close. One more time. Oh, headphone out. This doesn't turn off the video. Okay, last one. Beautiful. And then from here, we're gonna, let's do this. Let's roll back onto the back again. Pause, re-elongate the spine. Reach the arm over to the left, look there, and then roll up to the forearm. And again, same thing with this side. Make sure you're in a good alignment with your spine, uprighting with your shoulder, pushing away, and then we'll rotate like a skewer with the chest and the hips towards the floor. Try not to sink into it, stay lifted, and then rotate back forward. We're really trying to be cognizant about stabilizing this shoulder, especially because it's really gonna want to do a lot of this. So see if you can keep it relatively relatively stable and still. You know, it's moving, but it's not, you're not losing it, you're not bringing that shoulder up towards the ear, you're staying really controlled here. And then reach the right arm up towards the sky, look there, Straighten the left hand, this time coming up to hands and knees. All right, here's crazy. That's okay. From here, just take a couple cat-cows, because who doesn't love to do cat-cows? Come on. Good. Couple more. As I struggle here with my headphone. And then we're gonna pause, find a neutral spine and place your hands a little bit further forward. So about a handprint further forward. Push your hips back. And then bring your hips back forward. Now, as we bring the hips forward, it's tempting to arch the back, or that's kind of where we fall into if we're not focused. So we wanna think about sits bones kind of squeezing together just a little bit as the hips open up to the front. And then we want to think about really pushing the sits bones back as we push back through the hips. So maintaining this neutral spine as we move dynamically through the hips and the shoulders. Last one. Good. And then place your hands back again, one handprint at a time. Tuck the toes under, float the knees up. And then from here, we're gonna lift the hips up and back to bear. Pausing in bear. See if you can feel a sense of like you're trying to spin the creases of your elbows forward, but you're continuing to press down through the space between the thumb and the index finger. Drop your shoulders away from your ears, and then keep all that as you bring yourself back forward to hover, and then back to bear. Just do that 2 more times. Next time we go back to bear, hold there. Make sure your feet are stepped wide, and then walk your hands back towards your feet. Lower your heels down, come up to your fingertips, and sit your hips lower than your shoulders. From here, you're nice and rooted through the feet, so you can come all the way up to stand. And then bring the arms down by your sides. Feel free to practice that part a few times. So actually, let's do this. We'll do one more round. So I'll show you the flow of going down and getting back up. And then if you have more time to practice that, go ahead and do a few more rounds. To set up to lower back down, just again, feet are wide, toes are slightly turned out. We're gonna squat back down to that low position, and then set the hands down. Walk the hands forward, come into bear, and then come back into hover. You can lower down, take a break if you need one, but I'm just gonna keep going. So we're gonna press back up to bear, walk the hands back towards the feet, look forward so the heels drop and the chest lifts, and then we press through the legs to stand. Very good. Again, feel free to do a few rounds of that. Go through all of this again if you want, but great work, and I hope you enjoy